there was one part where Lainey was talking about Billy to me and saying how Billy hurt them. And at the time, of course, since I'm talking to Lainey and believing a lot of the things online that were said about Billy, I said, oh yeah, she totally fucked you over. And I said, I'm only interested in you, which Lainey seemed to be very happy about, didn't have a problem with. But later that night, Greg had messaged me and kind of explained the dynamic of what the relationship was and how they wanted to be polyamorous. And so I said I wanted to try. And I even said in text that it was scary because I didn't really know what I was getting into, but that I wanted to try for Lainey because at that point I had already felt such a connection to that person. And so he, kind of went away for a while. Me and Lainey are talking again. And then one night, after doing extensive research on polyamorous relationships and what it meant to be in a polyamorous relationship, and I had decided that it wasn't something that was for me, which ultimately killed me because I did feel at the time that my feelings for Lainey were genuine, and I didn't want to mess that up, but I knew that I could not force myself to be in something that I didn't want to be in. And so when I came forward and I told Lainey, that as much as I like them, I can't be in a polyamorous relationship with Greg, that I did not see Greg in that way. I sent this very long thing, which I'm going to go over some texts later on, not into, the stuff between me and Lainey, but the stuff between me and Greg. I'm going to go into some of the things that I have not released. Just to also kind of showcase what manipulation tactics he does use and something to look out for if you are reached out to by these people. As I was saying, so Greg had messaged me instead of Lainey. Lainey didn't message me, but he said, I can actually pull up the conversation. Sorry, hold on. I said, this is what I said to Lainey when I was backing out of the relationship. I said, okay, I have to be honest with you. Just like you, I am honest and I mean everything I say 100%. And I think you are one of the most attractive, kind, and just all around amazing person I've ever had the pleasure of getting to know. I've always had such a huge crush on you, and since getting to know you more on a personal level, my feelings for you have doubled. And this is why this is so hard. As much as I like you, I am not okay with being in a three-way relationship. When Greg messaged me, I told him I would try. I wanted to and had every intention to, and because I wanted to, I decided to look more into what it means to be in a three-way relationship. Since then, I started doing research on the pros and cons of a three-way relationship. I read blog posts of people in thruples, and I kept thinking, I can do this for Lainey. I like them so much, I want to do this for them. But the fact of the matter is that through my research and looking deep within myself, I've come to the realization that I can't. Greg is so great, don't get me wrong. I think you have a wonderful husband, but as much as I think he is great, I'm not interested in him like I am you. I don't see him the way I see you romantically, and I don't think I'll be able to. I do not judge those who choose this lifestyle. I think it's perfect if you have the right people, but I can't be that person for you guys. I'm not what you want because I want you. This hurts to say because even though it's been such a short time of us talking, I've enjoyed every little bit of it. I also don't want to stop talking to you, even if it's just as friends, which also hurts to say. I came to this conclusion tonight, which is why I wanted to tell you immediately. I wanted to do this for you, Lainey. I really, truly thought I could, and I hate that I can't be that person for you guys. I hope this doesn't make you hate me. So I had come to that realization. I was talking with my mom about it, and she kind of helped me write that well, she didn't help me write it. I wrote it, but she, had me add things here and there that she thought were good to put in, and just to get my point across of how I felt. Lainey didn't respond, but Greg did. And he says, this is Greg. Thanks for being honest. It's just the three-way thing, like you wouldn't want to be in a three-way relationship ever with anyone. Or sorry, I read that again. You're not into me, Greg. So it's just that it's me, and that is okay. Like we like who we like, and you do not like me. So okay. And that would have been fine had it ended there. I said, I think you're great. Don't get me wrong. It's not that I don't like you. Heck, I like you a lot, just not in the same way. I don't think I can in the same way. As soon as I came to this realization, I wanted to talk about it immediately. He said, you like my personality a lot, then you're just not attracted to me. I said, yeah. And that doesn't mean I don't think you're not handsome. I think you're good looking, but there's a difference between physical attraction and thinking someone is handsome or good looking, I think. He said, I think about myself in your shoes, and I don't feel I would be saying the same thing, but maybe it's just a sign it's not meant to be. Thank you again for your honesty. Lainey has the phone now. I said, okay, Lainey, please say something. So that was kind of the end of that. I want to use the stream to fully address everything. So screenshots, things that were posted in regards to me, things that were speculated about me. I'm using this as my full disclosure to talk about everything. I was tweeting a lot in that time, and I'm really only talking about this because if anybody ends up looking it up later or whatever, I don't want a lot of the things I've said online to be misunderstood. So while all of this was going on, I was having a lot of issues at home. I was having a lot of issues in my personal life. And so a lot of my tweets kind of bled together with that. And they all got taken out of context and made me look like I was just obsessing over Lainey and Greg and being upset that things didn't work out. And I was more upset with myself and feeling like a piece of shit. So when all of that was going on, I felt like I needed to clear that up because there was a lot of them that were misunderstood. Yeah, taking everything out of context is their MO. It really is. In fact, the video that he made about me, which I am also going to go over a little bit, he says at one point that I said that I thought they were both attractive multiple times. I never said I thought Greg was attractive. I said I thought he was handsome, which in my mind may be textbook definition. I'm wrong, but in my mind, that doesn't mean that I am physically attracted to that person. When I can think many people are handsome or good looking, it doesn't mean that I have a physical attraction to them. So anyway. So after I was upset and tweeting, Greg messaged me and he said, I'm sorry, you're so bummed. We are too. And I said, that I had felt like an asshole with the way that I said it, like I was making it seem like it was all because of him was the reason why I didn't want to be involved. And I said, it's really the three-way relationship part. I can't do a three-way relationship. It's just something that's not for me. And at the time I genuinely wanted it to be for me, but it wasn't. He had made a comment about at least giving them a chance to like meet in person before making that realization or making that conclusion. And I said I had thought about that, but why would that make sense? So I have these feelings of doubt, and then I go there and I meet their family and I form a bigger bond with them, and then I still say, no, I don't want to do this. That doesn't make any sense. That would have hurt everybody a lot worse. And to this day, I thank God that I didn't do that. I thank God after hearing Maya's story, Billy's story, Madison's, I am thanking the Lord that I never went there. Sorry, I'm going to read some comments because I need an intermission on talking about this, or I guess the storyline here. Greg has not contacted me since. He did send me a message request, but then never said anything. Thank you. My lipstick is popping. It's, I think it's Tarte. He is a poop head. So to go back into the story, there was one point, if we're going to talk about like before everything went down, some warning signs that I saw that I ignored willfully. He had asked me at one point if I worked paycheck to paycheck, which struck me as off. So that leads me to believe that, you know, they might also look for people who are not necessarily financially stable on their own. I misunderstood the question at first and I said yes, because I thought he was asking if I made a paycheck. I was like, yes, I work, I make a paycheck. But then I realized the question was paycheck to paycheck. And I was like, oh, no, I save my money. Because we were talking about video games and Fallout, and if I was going to buy Fallout or something. So how did the manipulation start? So that's what I'll get into right now with the messages. And again, I'm sorry, guys. I'm shaking. I'm very nervous right now. In fact, before I do anything else, give me 1 second. Forgot I wanted to go private after the stream started. So the rest of the messages were, it was like talking in circles constantly, because I had said no. When it continued, let me find it. I'm sorry you're bummed. I'm sorry you're so bummed. We are too. I said, looking back on what I said, it seemed like it was just because of you, and that's not the case. I didn't want a three-way relationship either. I felt like an asshole, and I'm so sorry for the way it came across. He says, three-way relationships are awesome. They make you feel like you're part of something bigger, and they make you feel like you're part of something bigger, and you just feel stronger overall. That multiplayer video games are always better. That and multiplayer video games are always better. He said, there's a taboo factor. We just assume you didn't want to be a part of it because of your religion, which is a bad reason to avoid a great potential for happiness on awesome levels. So I did tell them up front that I was a Christian. Well, not up front. I told Lainey a little bit later on that I'm a Christian. He says, or I said, it sounded that way. And it sounded that way. It sounded amazing when you described it. But when I was digging deep within myself, I also realized I want what you have. I want a family and a happy marriage. While I'm a Christian, that did not play a factor in my decision making. I was basing everything off my own feelings about it. He said, is there something wrong with having a family with one father and two moms? So then also kind of hinting that, you know, I could have kids. It would just be his kids. I said, well, no, but I didn't think I could. He said, I wouldn't want you to get into something that has a high risk of letting everyone else down, but the family is still possible with Lainey and the marriage. Well, is Lainey not worth it? And this is where, if you look back, Lainey had tweeted out, I guess I'm not worth it, guys, or something along those lines. Well, is Lainey not worth it? I said, it's not what I want, though. That's the problem, too. It sounds amazing if it's with the right person, and I wish I could be okay with being that person. Lainey is definitely worth it, but I have to think about what I want for myself, too. He says, if she was worth it, you'd be all for it because you would want it. Because, again, that is what being worth it means. But your position is clear. It's just odd you acted like it would work at first when you knew exactly what our intentions were before we all spoke in the first place. Because I changed my mind. I backed out because I changed my mind, and I am 100% allowed to change my mind if I am no longer comfortable with the idea of that kind of relationship. And for me to have been demonized by him going forward in this conversation and then had a video made about me because I was tricked by somebody with screenshots is fucked up. It's not right. Anyway, I said, because I thought I could do it. I truly thought I could and that I wanted it. I did. I swear I did. I wouldn't have continued talking to Lainey if I didn't, because that's what fucked up people do, is use people. And that wasn't what I was trying to do. That was never my intention. He says, okay, well, let's be clear. Lainey is not worth it to you. Otherwise, you would have moved forward. And that's what worth it means. So let's stop pretending. So this is where he gets, this is the manipulation coming in. If Lainey was worth it to you, you would do it. If Lainey was worth it, trying to manipulate me into feeling like shit because I didn't want to have sex with both of them at the same time, because I didn't want to be involved in that. He said, it's all okay, though, in the sense that we would not want you to be anything less than 100% in. I really believe you missed out, though. Maybe down the line you'll see that, but it will be very likely too late. But it will I think he was trying to say likely. He said very like to be too late. I don't know. He said, goodbye, Haylee. I said, you're right. If Lainey was worth it to me, I would go through with it. And while I'm not okay with going through with it, I don't want that to mean that I didn't have feelings for them, because I did. Very strong feelings. In the end, I had to be selfish with my feelings, though. This lifestyle isn't for everyone, which is why when I came to that conclusion last night, I wanted to tell you guys immediately. I hope you both don't hate me because of this, and I still support you both a ton. I'm sorry if I've caused a lot of pain. I'm sorry if I've caused pain. Thank you for your time, Greg. So even at this time, I was still supporting them and would have been open to friendship because of how much I idolized Lainey. Using his own spouse as a means for manipulation, disgusting. Yes, that's exactly what it is. This is the part where he says they don't remotely hate me. We're just bummed out that you chose a generic cookie cutter nuclear life over the awesome person she is, as the person you described to be handsome, whose personality you really liked. It just doesn't make sense. Turning away two people you really like for normality and the potential to hook up with some guy in a marriage that statistically is more likely to fail than succeed. If this is your gut talking, then go with your gut. But just know we do not all hate you. This is your life. You can do what you want. And you want what you want. So it's like telling me that it's my life and I can do what I want. But then he continues to keep going. And these conversations don't make me look good either. I'm very scared in talking to him because at this point I am remembering and realizing this guy makes videos about people. This guy, goes after people, and anything I can say could be used against me in a negative way. And so at this point, I'm still trying to be very calm. I'm still trying to be very kind. And at this point, I still really am feeling like shit. I said, it is my gut. Thank you for understanding. I wish you guys the best, and I truly hope you find someone amazing to bring into your family. Thanks, Greg. So then he says, well, I do think your gut tells you to do things not because they're necessarily right. So if he keeps going, not because they're necessarily right, but because they are what is meant for you in your life. I'm not sure why your gut told you before to pursue this relationship and is now telling you to not pursue it. Confusing as heck. But I support everyone doing what they feel is best for themselves, so long as they're not hurting anyone, and you don't seem to be hurting anything but feelings to a small degree. So I support your decision as well. Not that you need it, just saying that there are no significant hard feelings. Good luck to you in your life, Haylee. I hope it's an awesome one. So then it's like, okay, now I feel like he's being nice again. I feel like he's being genuine and nice again, and it's all fine. And then he sent me a screenshot of the part where I was saying, when he first talked about the three-way relationship, I had said that I was going to trust my gut and go with hope for the best for everything. He said, I thanked him so much for understanding. I said, you both are very kind and honest people. He said, hey, now I'm not that kind, just to you and a select few other people. I said, it's still very appreciated considering I don't deserve it, because I really felt like I didn't deserve. Anyway. He said, you could have always met us first before you concluded it wasn't worth pursuing. It's funny to give up before you even really know the people that you're giving up on. I said, I thought about that, but then I thought if I did that, the feelings would be hurt way worse than they already are if I still thought it wasn't for me. I didn't want it to feel like I was leading anybody on. Like I didn't want to show up, meet your family, create this bond, and then my feelings not change on the three-year relationship part of it all, thus letting you both down even more. He said, that's cute, but somewhat silly. You visiting as a friend risks nothing. So this is where he's offering friendship. When I first said that to Lainey, I did bring up friendship. But then I had assumed, okay, that's not going to work. You visiting as a friend risks nothing. I said, you guys would accept me as a friend. He said, would you be willing to make a collab video with Lainey on her channel? Then we could make you a business friend and all expenses would be tax deductible equals not as big of a financial loss. The collab video would be something like this. And then he sent me a link to a video that Lainey did with, oh my gosh, I'm blanking on her name. She's really nice though. Starts with an M. I'm sorry, I'm blanking on her name. Everything is like, I said, if you guys wanted me to, then sure. Are you both okay with being friends with me? He said, yeah, friends until your gut or heart tells you otherwise, which may be never. And then I said, so you both will be okay if it's never. He said, if you think there is a chance you'll have a change of heart, then it's worth a shot. But if you've made up your mind and don't believe there's any chance, then Lainey will probably think it isn't worth it to risk falling for you when there is no chance of return feelings. Like, if you think meeting her could change things, you should visit. But if it winds up that you're not into it, then at least you tried and everyone is still fine. Basically, you should just be blunt, raw, and tell me the actual probability and we'll go from there. I said the probability is very slim because when I came to the conclusion that I did, it felt right to me. It felt like the right choice. Even though it was hard, the last thing I wanted to do was cause more pain. He said, this is where more manipulation comes in. Okay, what does your heart say? It seems like it may have gone cold to Lainey, I mean. So now my heart's gone cold to Lainey because I don't want to fly out there and say that I'm going to try to be a part of something or say that there's a possibility that my mind's going to change on it when I know that it's not going to change. So now my heart's cold. I'm a cold-hearted bitch. Said, I think my problem is I have a big ego about Lainey. I think she's like the bee's knee, so anyone who doesn't fight to the death for her seems crazy to me. People are just different. I'm just really like, whoa, no way when you pulled out. He said, it's okay, Haylee. I'm giving up on you, or I'm giving up if you, sorry, he didn't say I'm giving up on you. He said, it's okay, I'm giving up if you are Haylee. I just love seeing Lainey fully happy and being part of a trinity. She is bi, so the best of both worlds just seems awesome to see / experience with her. By the way, if the chances are being slim, say less than 25% chance, then we should not kid ourselves. But if it's more, then let's schedule your flight and I'll enjoy a couple days together as friends. So I then go into saying that I'm still not okay with it, that I'm not going to be okay with the relationship, that my mind is likely not going to change. So now he's asking about the percentage. What is Lainey saying about all of this? Lainey wasn't talking to me at this point, only Greg. I said, still, my gut also tells me you two are amazing people. If there's any way of saving some kind of friendship, I'm more than willing to be a part of that. But if there isn't, I completely understand why that would not be an option. And no, my heart is not cold to Lainey. I still genuinely like them more than I would a friend. But I know that I shouldn't because I can't be what you guys would want. So with some time, if Lainey is willing, I would love to still have a positive part of their life. My heart says to do the right thing. The right thing is to not give even the slightest of hope that I could change my mind, because in doing so, I would bring more pain. I think Lainey is deserving of so much more than what I could give because of what I personally want for my future. I think they deserve the world. So at this point, again, I am still feeling for Lainey. I'm still like, I want the best for them at this time. I know I can't be that person, and I'm not going to kid myself, go there, do videos or anything that could lead them on. But yet I still got turned into someone who led them on, even though I clearly said and did everything possible to not do that. He says, well, the only thing you could not get with this is a government recognized marriage. Does that sound accurate? I said, I want one person. I want to have one person that's for me and only for me. And for me to be that only one for that person exclusively. Maybe that makes me selfish, but it's what I want for my future self. When I see my future, I see it with one person. I realized this last night. And like I said, I don't judge people who choose a 3-year relationship. I read some really good things about it, and it's okay for people who are, like you said, 100% in. But I know that I wouldn't be. I can't kid myself and think that I would be. I can't kid myself and think that I would be. I can't be dishonest with you guys and say that I can be. Like I said before, too, I wanted to try. That wasn't a lie. I had every intention at the time. When was this? This was 2 years ago. This was 2 years ago. Said, well, here's the thing. With that one person, you only get to experience a relationship at certain times, like when they're not around or working or on a trip or whatever. With 3, you have 3 total people who value / support / are there for each other. Part of why I enjoy a trinity with Lainey is I can work and I know she is getting the attention / love from someone I care about. When Lainey goes to sleep, as I tend to stay up later, I am able to watch anime or whatever with the third part of the trinity and bond. Oh, my dog is joining in. With 2 people, you're not completely dependent on that one person. Whereas with 3, I mean, no room is built with 2 walls. They all have at least 3 to be a complete structure. I think there's a lot of beauty and strength that can offer. But what I'm saying is falling on deaf ears, I'm sure. Life experience, being able to compare a loving 2-way relationship to a loving 3, it takes time being there sometimes. Also, love is not exactly about owning someone. This made me mad. Love is not exactly about owning someone as you described. Love is about doing what is best for your loved ones and them doing what's best for you as well. Seeing Lainey's love grow when there is a third person, seeing the strength it gave her was incredible. You have to not be so jealous or possessive when it comes to 3 people, though. Like you kind of sound, like, you know, I don't remember this part. Wait, what? And you sound kind of like, you know, you said it yourself. You want to basically own someone. So because I wanted to be monogamous, that means I want to own somebody. Still trying to push me into something I didn't want. He said, just like that, or just that one person and not allow them to share their love mutually with a third person. It's common, but pretty undeniably highly restrictive, kind of like a prison, a love prison. Your love is all mine, and if anyone else, no matter how much I like them, and even if I get to love from them, like them too, gets your love, I'm gonna freak kind of thing. So basically, to sum that little piece up, because it sounds a little confusing, is if you go and seek love from somebody else, the other person's gonna freak out about it. This is where I'm still kind of kissing his ass, because again, I'm scared. Is saying that's what makes you so great too. You want Lainey's happiness more than anything, but it's not for me. It's not what I want for myself. I want you guys to find someone who will fill you both with so much love and be there for you both equally. How many times at this point have I said that this isn't what I wanted? Is there a counter? Can there be a counter of how many times I was saying, no, this is not what I want? Anyway, sorry, I want you guys to find someone who will fill you both with so much love and be there for you both equally. I don't want to own someone. I don't want to be possessive over someone, but I want a relationship with one person that doesn't make me a bad person or like I'm trying to prison one person. It just means that I like the idea of cookie cutter. I don't think that's wrong with me. Many people have 2-person relationships. Many people have multiple person relationships. Neither are wrong. It's just what people want for themselves, which is why you deserve someone who is all in 100% without a single doubt. So Lainey, in his eyes, is a love prison because they want to be monogamous now. I don't know. This was 2 years ago. Opinions can change. I don't know if he's changed his mind on that. Lainey said in their stream the other day that Greg still talks about wanting a third. So I don't know if that's how he feels. He says, also, this is just my personal opinion, but giving and receiving love from 2 people you love at once is pretty close to bliss. Lainey and I looked at what we went through and clearly thought to ourselves, why does everyone not do this? Why did we not do this sooner? I hope you find that special person. Your future is likely lined with investing in one person only to be let down again and again, like mine once was. But this is your journey, and considering how cautious you are, maybe yours will be a lot less painful than mine was. After all, I did find Lainey, and that was when I was searching for that one person just like you. So then complimenting me again and saying, you know, it seems like he's being nice and on my side and, you know, encouraging me to have a good life, basically. I said, I am very cautious, maybe too cautious. Sometimes I go by my feelings, honestly. 2 years later, Haylee, to 2 years ago, Haylee, you were not cautious. You weren't. That's not being cautious. Anyway, I said, I'm sure I'll face many hardships in the future. I'm sure I'll get my heart broken, but I one day want to find someone who loves me as much as you love Lainey and love that person as much as Lainey loves you. What you have together is magical and almost fairy tale-like. Can someone shoot me? What you have together is magical and almost fairy tale like. You're both so devoted to each other, or you're so devoted to each other's happiness and don't feel trapped or like you're being forced. It's genuine. It's beautiful how much you fight for their happiness. You really are a good person, Greg. I am going to shove a sock in my mouth. Says, but you don't know if I'm truly a good person because you never got to know me. Oh, got me there, Greggles. You got me there. He said, your actions tell me, your devotion tells me. Again, fucking terrified at this time. Said, we are defined all by our actions, not a few. My father did a lot of good things in his life. So this is where he talks about his dad being an accused predator. Ironic now that here we are talking about Greg, and I'm not saying Greg is definitely a predator. I'll say that right now. Greg is a predator, maybe not of children, but of women in general. He is a predator. This is predatory behavior. Trying to pressure somebody into a relationship that doesn't want to be in one is fucking predatory behavior. Trying to manipulate a young girl's mind to have sex with him and his wife is predatory behavior. I don't give a fuck what anybody else says. It is. He disempowers you. He secretly boasts about his conquest. He's really attentive in the early stages. Oh, I'm sure. Says we have to invest in people we think will be around forever, not just randomly. Friends are more often than not come and go. Love lasts a lifetime. We gave you a good chance. You really did not give us a good chance. I think we'd rather invest in people who are willing to meet us halfway. Oh, wait, what? No, I missed something. Sorry. Okay. I'm going to get to the point here because I'm really sick of reading these. I have given somebody permission to release everything if absolute need be for record purposes or whatever, just to showcase manipulative behavior. But nothing that was done to me was illegal. I was of age, so I don't know what grounds or what standing my exact story is going to have. This may be doing nothing. This could very well do nothing for anybody, but if it does do something.
Did you fucking hear that? Boy, I'ma dox you.